Good morning, it's Miss Snow, and today I'm interviewing a friend of mine named Eric Yarberry, and we're at his workplace, the World Services for the Blind. This video is for my graduate work. Now we're going to turn it over to Eric.
Hi, how are y'all doing? I'm Eric Yarberry. I'm the Director of Education and Training at World Services for the Blind. We're a career training center for blind and visually impaired individuals. The majority of our students lose their vision halfway through their life, but we do work with 16 to 22-year-olds, our transition age. So I'll be talking more about that. So Roma, what questions do you have for me?
First of all, tell us a little about yourself. Are you visually impaired? Are you blind?
Yeah, so I'm visually impaired. Either one's fine, blind, visually impaired, but I do have some vision, enough to get in trouble, not really enough not enough functional vision. So I went to the University of Arkansas at Little Rock, finished my bachelor's in English, and then finished my master's in professional and technical writing. So I had the 2.5 years of teaching composition, and then I came over to World Services for the Blind, and I supervise our instructors here, who are more, we do more career training. So this isn't, we don't really focus on GEDs or K-12 school. The little bit of K-12 we work with is the college prep, the transition to life. So that's really our focus.
Now, Eric, you've got to tell us all, who's hiding underneath the desk?
Okay, so this is Hank. Hank is my guide dog. He is very excited. Shake. So he's a great dog. So I've had him a year now. He's an awesome addition to my family. We have quite a few students here that have dogs. I would say maybe 25% of our population, 5 or 6 of our students have dogs. So,
Hi, how you doing, Hank? Pretty boy. Okay, now Eric just transitioned to an area that we have to talk about today, and that's how can we understand the families and deal with families of children who have visual impairment. Eric, what do you have to say to general education teachers and special education teachers that are going to have to deal with the families and educate the families and have good communication skills with the families?
So the number one thing that I always tell my instructors is that the individual comes first and the support system comes second. It's great if we can get the two together right out of the gate, but we don't see that often. So our focus here is to make sure that the individual, whether they're 16 or 61, has the skills that they need, whether it be self-motivation or goal setting or just general life skills. We want to make sure that our student, like I said, if they're a teenager or adult, they've got those and they know how to get those. And then we'll bring the family in. A lot of the families we see are enablers, unfortunately. So, and that is with visual impairments. We see that their families are over supportive. They provide more of a crutch than a hand up, really. So just focus more on the individual than the family support. Once you get the individual up on their feet, then you can bring the family in and really teach them how to support that individual.
Thank you, Eric. Now, another question I have for you as a budding special education teacher. How can we as teachers not make the glaring common mistakes that you might have seen teachers concerning your own personal instruction? Eric is unique in the sense that not only has he been a student of teachers that are sighted and teachers who have vision problems, but he has taught and been on the other side of the desk or chalkboard where he has taught sighted children, sighted young adults at the university level, and here, of course, blind and visually impaired as young as 16.
So the main thing I want to talk about here is, again, and I'll go back to this, is you want to focus on the individual. It's really easy to, if you're having a conversation, I'm going to talk about blind and visually impaired because it's what I know. I don't claim to be an expert in this, but it is what I know. So if I'm talking to a blind or visually impaired adult who just lost their vision, I'm not going to tiptoe around that. I'm not going to say, oh, did you watch, or did you listen to that movie? That doesn't make sense. That's not the way we talk about things. Even as a blind individual, I'm not going to say, did you go listen to that movie at the theater? That's watch. We say, did you see that movie last night? Or come here, I want you to take a look at this. Even if, so those words, it's easy for someone who's new to the field or new to, you've got a classmate in your class who's blind or visually impaired, or you've got a student who's blind or visually impaired, and you try to avoid those words that hint that they have to see to use those words, and that's, I'm blind, and the 16-year-olds that I work with, they make blind jokes all the time, and you just breeze past them. Once you get comfortable with the student, you can kind of throw a zinger their way, but really just let them make the jokes. They're going to try, it's what teenage students do. They try to throw teachers off the game and really rattle them, and it's the first tool a blind student can grab out of their toolbox. Is, I've got a sighted teacher, I'm just going to make blind jokes the whole class.
Well, this has been a great short interview with Eric Yarberry at the World Services for the Blind, a person who's been on both sides of the delivery of services to those with special education needs. See you again. Bye. Let's see the door one more time. Where's his little face? Under the desk.